All right, one last time, Thomas.
We live.
Yeah. Do you watch our episode? Well, okay, hold on. Actually, shut up. Don't speak yet. I speak was spoken to, like I said. Okay. Hello. That was bad. Okay. Hello.
I think you said no cursing too.
I didn't curse.
Oh, I thought you did.
No. Okay. Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to the season finale of season 1.
I'm drunk.
For perspective, we have a special guest with us today, and she's in elite company. Because
hey guys,
It's actually me.
because we said we were going to have a lot of guests this season, but you make the third, and we're at the end of the season. So.
well, hey, season finale. It means I'm
True.
special.
Got to cap it all. The cherry on top.
Yeah.
But this
the
is
worst for last.
Huh?
Okay. Thanks.
Okay. Shut up. This is
Just
Maria.
loved.
Say hi again. I cut you off earlier.
Hey guys.
Yay. So, Maria is one of the OGs because Thomas and I met Zuri. It's been
A year.
closer to like a year now, something like that. And then Thomas has known Brandon for years. I haven't known him as long, but Thomas and I collectively have known Maria for like 4 years now or something, right?
Yeah, again, that's why I'm
Something like
special.
Close to that, yeah.
Well, I've known you like a little longer than that.
It was like a couple months more, probably.
Okay, well, you know.
I mean, I'll take the credit, I guess.
We tight like that.
Yeah. My ankles,
Oh.
or the back of my foot still hurts. I slapped it on the chair before we started this episode. But yeah, Maria's one of the OGs, so we thought we would finish out this season in a very special way, not only having another guest, but also I realized before we were doing this, you're our first, like, third actual, like, in-person guest, because Brandon was on the phone, so, like, he wasn't actually here with us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice.
So we actually are able now to plug in all 3 microphones and use them to talk to each other. So
Yeah, you got the bougie
Oh,
setup
that
over
is
here.
this is the first time we have all 3 microphones plugged in because I
Yeah.
wasn't here for Zuri.
yeah,
And yeah, that's wild.
maybe next season we'll get our 4th in here too and just completely blow up this audio. Even though that's what it was meant for, but
I think it's definitely gonna blow up.
probably.
Yeah, I'm impressed. Y'all got the whole podcast setup, it seems like.
He does. I
Yeah.
didn't pay for a single one. I paid for a mic.
He bought one of the mics.
Yeah.
And then
Well, if y'all blow up, you don't get any royalties.
Don't get any
We're still
royalties
trying to get
anyways. What are you
Yeah.
talking about?
We're still trying to get monetized, so
Okay,
that's
well,
why.
I'm sure it'll happen after, my episode. Everyone's going to love it.
Yeah,
Blow it
I was
up.
gonna say some of the stuff you were talking to us before the episode. You can't say on here. All
Watch
that
our
hate
numbers
speech
drop
and
cold.
stuff
The
that
hate
you've been-
spe- what?
I'm just kidding.
Watch our
There was
numbers
no
drop.
hate speech for the record. Thank you.
What did you say, Thomas?
I said, watch our numbers drop after this episode.
Impossible. They can only go up. Aren't you so glad to be here?
Yeah, the
Maria?
love I feel in this room right now is radiating.
Love you, Maria.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so to get into the topic, so that was an issue last week. I made a joke. Okay, that's what I was gonna say actually. Before that, do you? Okay, you be completely honest here. Do you like watch our episodes or no?
Okay, so after you called me to ask for me to come on, I did take a listen.
For the first time?
Maybe. Okay, no, I knew you were going to ask me this when we got on. I have been meaning to listen for a hot minute, but you be cranking out these episodes like so much, I feel like I haven't been able to catch up,
See, I believe your intent to listen to them.
Yeah,
But
no,
it's like
I do.
weekly. It's not like that often.
Well, yeah, but I'm a busy girl, so.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah, but you don't make enough time for us.
And
it
also,
sounds
I
like.
feel like when I listen to podcasts, I have to kind of just like be sitting there and like doing nothing else. Cause like, like when I used to work at Dick's, like I would listen to podcasts and stuff while I was like working. But
I didn't know
I didn't know that
actually.
either.
yeah, a little AirPod in.
I
Couldn't
thought
really
you were
tell.
listening to music.
No, I was normally listening to Call Her Daddy. But
Oh.
my
anyways,
God. Daddy Cooper.
Right.
no, it's a funny show. It's not all about bad things. Anyways, yeah, I listened to your first episode. And then like just bounced around and like listened to Brandon's, and because like I know him somewhat.
Oh yeah, I forgot you do know Brandon.
Yeah, he was like best friends with my brother in like middle school or something. So, but yeah, I could kind of tell that he was on the phone when you mentioned that, but not like say anything bad about it. It was
No,
good.
I mean, you could like
You can definitely hear the audio
you could literally hear it
difference.
was a phone call. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I was terrified for you to. I knew you were gonna ask me that, and I was like, well,
No, I mean, like, I wasn't. Obviously, I was gonna be like upset with you about it, but I was just curious, like, if you had seen like the format of like how these things go normally. But
yeah, like somewhat. Yeah, I've been meaning to listen to the rest of them. I just, again, like I feel like I kind of have to be like focused on it, not like doing much. So.
Which ones are your favorite so far that you've listened to?
see now she
Yeah, now she's like,
this is the
I
first
don't
one,
remember.
Brandon's, and then just stop.
No, yeah, I listened to the first and then like some of Brandon's, and I kind of like
Stopped.
popped around. I kind of like popped around, but I didn't like listen to it fully to like give an opinion.
Well, maybe
So.
now that you're on one, it'll drive you to
Yeah,
listen to the
no,
rest.
I definitely will be listening to the rest of them.
Yeah, because one of the reason I brought that up was like one of the issues that we had was we started off doing like the first like 5 or 6 episodes we had a theme, and then after there were like 2 or 3 episodes where we're just like, screw it, we just need to get something out this week, and just started, which like I liked because we just started talking, and like it was kind of a little insight into just what our conversations look like outside of like having something that we need to talk about, as opposed to just freeballing it and just kind of seeing like what's been going on. But I mean, how far are we into this one now? 6 minutes. We still haven't gotten to the crux of what we're going to talk about. So
That's pretty
There's
normal.
time, yeah.
but we have that. So I guess kind of the central idea of, don't do that.
What?
If I go
Smacking
back
your
in
lips
here,
in the microphone.
Oh.
if we go back, no, I just completely screwed that up.
Going
No,
back.
so we're chopping that. Okay, so kind of the central topic for this episode, we had some what?
He's
Nothing.
doing weird things over here.
That's why I'm in this chair. And the guest
Assaulting
is
the
sitting-
microphone, making it
It
uncomfortable.
gave me consent.
Oh my god, I have to get through this. We just lost half our fan base.
Anyways, cool.
The central idea for this episode is growing up, because we've known each other. So I'll start by telling that story, the way that Maria and I met each other, because I love telling this story. It was so funny.
Yeah.
I don't know if you
No,
remember.
I feel like you can definitely tell it better than
I don't
can.
even know the story.
Well, you'll laugh because you remember it when I start talking about it. So Maria and I met senior year in high school in a speech class. Shout out the Wedge Gang.
Yeah.
None of them listen to this, but the first interaction that Maria and I ever had with each other was we had to stare into each other's eyes. You remember that?
Yeah, that's when I fell in love. But yes,
And
I
just
do.
like
the
that.
Riz is immaculate.
No,
Just like that. The topic of this episode completely shifted.
The Riz was
Um,
immaculate. That was so
I wish y'all could see my cheeks just got so rosy when she said that.
Yo.
No, so like our speech teacher, Miss Wedge, who was like hands down one of my favorite teachers I've ever
Yeah.
had. Her way of kind of breaking the ice and just introducing yourself to other people was, which honestly I kind of like this in a way of teaching, was to just stare the person in the eyes and just kind of let all of the like awkwardness get out immediately. And I think you were like the first person, or like we were the first pairing
Probably, yeah.
of like when that happened, and then we did other people as well. But I remember like Dylan's was the one that made me like really uncomfortable, because Dylan just had like a really cold stare, and he's also like 7'6", so he's
like
like really
breaking
tall.
your neck, like looking up
Yeah,
at
so
him.
I was like looking up at him. He was just looking at me and like this cold stare. But yeah, we had to like stare into each other's eyes and then be like, "Oh, I'm Cole, by the way. I'm Maria."
Yeah.
And
Well,
then-
the whole reason she did that is to like, because we were in a speech class, so we were going to be giving speeches all semester, and like she wanted us to be comfortable with each other, because then it's like easier to talk to. Is that what you're going to get to? You're looking at me bad. Did I mess
No,
something up?
no,
Oh, you were.
He just stares
I'm
like
just-
that.
I'm-
He
yeah,
just
I'm
stares
just-
at
I don't know.
that
You looked like you were
intently.
glaring at me. Anyways, but yeah, it was just to make us comfortable with each other. So.
yeah, like I said, I like that approach. I just wasn't expecting it, and
Oh yeah.
me being the social butterfly I was back in high school, I really appreciated it.
Very
so,
intense for the first day. But
Yeah. But yeah, so that's how Maria and I met, and then
Well, hold on.
what?
You said that we had a class before that.
No, that's right. We had math together.
And I forgot.
But
and now
yeah.
I remember, and you're the one that forgot. Isn't that embarrassing?
Yeah, but you didn't talk to me in that class.
Okay,
so.
well. we weren't
Well,
technically friends, but we had a class together.
But you know what,
before
though?
that.
I'm kind of glad more so that it happened in, like, speech class and it did math. Because
No,
like,
yeah.
we were just kind of thrown into being like, hey. So I kind of liked that better. But we were talking before the episode. We don't really know when Thomas and Maria started talking to each other.
I think we just like knew each other being in high school together. I don't know.
Yeah, I was just. I mean, I
passing
also was
hallway.
on the cheer team in high school too. So like, a lot of people just knew me from like being on cheer too. So like,
The one token boy.
I wasn't like the token more because I had like other guys
Well,
on
yeah.
there too. But like, I don't know. A lot of people just like knew me because some people would be like, "Hey, Thomas," I'm like this makes me sound so like popular, but I'm really not. I swear. But I'm just like, "Hey, Thomas," I'm like, "Hey," and like they just know me from cheer, but I generally just don't know them.
To be fair, though, you're also, like, horrible with names. So you
That's
could
also
definitely
true.
know that person. And so you should have a response to them. You're like, hey, guy. And I'm like, oh, dude, that was like Kenny or something. You're like, oh, yeah, that was his name. So that was pretty funny, too.
Yeah, so I
Um,
don't really know. when
I
we
feel like I
met.
just knew you from like affiliation with Cole, and then
Well, I'm just Cole's friend.
yeah, basically.
All right.
No,
See-
but then like in college, like it blossomed into a friendship. Wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
All right, I love that.
Yeah, I didn't
long
like how long
pause.
you took to answer that question.
Well, I was just thinking because like one of the years during college I wasn't here. I was in like still in Raleigh, so like it didn't really blossom until like sophomore.
Oh
year.
yeah, yeah.
It's like sophomore, and then last year not really, just because I was doing cheer a lot last year too. So it really was like 1 year in college. Now that I think about it,
But we were hanging out for a hot minute. when
that's
we-
because you were going to the gym with me a lot.
Yeah, so
A lot.
Yeah.
it was at first.
How long was it?
You stayed with me for like 3 or 4 months, like straight.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess my memory isn't working correctly. Oh,
This is when we like fell off for a little bit.
And then like me and Michael started working out.
well,
with
it was a
them
lot of it for me. I just whoosh, completely fell off. But, yeah, so we've known each other for a while now, which is why I wanted to talk about this idea, kind of just growing up. Because the thing about having Maria as a guest is we just know a lot of each other. Wow. What a great way to end the season, because you'll see throughout watching these other episodes, there's always one part in the segment where English just like slaps me in the face.
Oh yeah, no, I did catch up on that when I
Yeah.
watched
Too.
the first episode.
Oh,
It's either one or the
so
other.
I'm glad that that's the one thing that you picked up. The good thing about having Maria as a guest is that we just know a lot about each other's lives anyway, but kind of because I've talked to you about this all the time, like you and Lauren, who also hopefully will get on the podcast here at some point. Like, you guys kind of like helped me a lot in freshman year because, like, okay, it was clearly a joke earlier about me being a social butterfly in high school, but like coming into college, I didn't, and that's one of the other topics we're going to talk about. I didn't really like go to events and stuff a whole lot, and you introducing me to Lauren and then us kind of like going to lunch and dinner together and stuff like that was really nice. So I'm
Yeah.
very appreciative
Aw.
of you guys' friendship and kind of
all the
helping
Sophie
me.
dinners.
I was about to say, I remember all the conversations Cole would tell me about. I went to dinner with Sophie. I went
With
to
Sophie?
dinner. Sorry, I went to dinner at Sophie with Lauren and Maria, and I'm like, that's great. I'm glad you're making friends, Cole.
Yeah, I'd be on the phone with Thomas, my feet just like kicking. Like,
Yeah,
"Ah,
he really
just
would
got
be.
food with Maria and
He
Lauren.
really would be. And I'm like, all right, hop on so we can play.
Yeah, so that was really nice and really special. So we've kind of seen each other become adults in a way. And the first thing that we can talk to you about, because the past two guests we had didn't have this kind of, well, Brandon did, but that's a completely separate, we don't need to get into that. But Maria's in a sorority, so we can, and she knew that we were going to ask her this question. But part of
Yeah.
that process of growing up and kind of just branching out a little bit more, because since I've known you, you've always been like a pretty social person.
Yeah, I like to think so.
Is that fair to say? Yeah. So, I mean, it was only fitting really that you joined a sorority, because that was just another way for you to just kind of be you and just like express to people how social you were, I guess, in a way, for lack of better expression. So, this is just kind of like an open, feel free to talk about anything you want about, like, I guess just what made you want to join a sorority in the first place, And now that you've been in it for 4 years now, 3 years?
Yeah, like almost 4 years. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, do you feel like at the end of whatever discussion that it was like worth it, even though I feel like I know what your answer is going to be?
Okay, yeah. Well, first off, I didn't want to join a sorority. Like, I don't know if you remember me back in high school, but like I never saw myself as like a typical sorority girl. I don't know if you can like agree to that or not.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. So no, I never saw myself doing that. Like, I thought I was going to go to school for like lacrosse or something, which I probably would have done, like club here or whatever, if I didn't join a sorority. But my friends that were already at Charlotte, Aaron and Megan, they joined a sorority. Megan was also in DZ, but like she's graduated now. She's also my big, but yeah, I don't know. They just kind of like forced me to do it. Like, it sounds bad, but like they were just like, yeah, like, I mean, and they also like didn't stand out in high school as like a girl that would like join a sorority or whatever. But they were like, honestly, like we really love it. And like, I know a lot of people have a stigma of like, oh, you're just like paying for your friends, but that's literally like never like crossed my mind or anything. I don't know. I just like always been involved with like bigger groups. Like in high school, I was in like this leaders club and I was like on the lacrosse team and like part of like a bigger family, I guess. So, like that's what I wanted to find in a sorority. Just like a big group of people and like get connections or whatever. So I did it. And now, like, for lack of better terms, like it's like really gross to say and like I don't want to say it, but like I found like my purpose or whatever in life. Because I started out like doing community service chair, and then I was like the VP of philanthropy for the past 2 years for DZ, and like that's what I want to do with the rest of my life, like work for our headquarters or like one of our partners one day. Yeah, thanks Thomas, throwing out the sign.
Throwing out the signs.
So I don't know, if you told me before I went to high school, or not high school, college, that like I was going to join a sorority and then like want to work for like our headquarters one day, like I literally would have laughed in your face. Like I think it's really gross to think about, but it's also like really cool that like I found that through that. So yeah.
Yeah, it's funny because like because you would agree with it, and this isn't like an insult or anything, but like you weren't really that typical like sorority girl.
Yeah.
Like, I'm a Delta Cap or whatever. But like I mean, there obviously there still are like okay, when you post about it or when you guys have reels about like recruitment and stuff like that, you'll see that side of sororities through that. But I feel like what you do in yours, and also just kind of like, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, obviously you would know, but how your sorority kind of operates doesn't really follow that blueprint, I feel like.
Yeah.
Like you guys are a sorority, but you're just kind of like a group of friends more than just like, because you, like, again, you know this better than I do, but there's like the blonde sorority, there's the like whatever sorority, the sorority known for just like parties and stuff like that. But, and I'm sure you guys there's something. Like,
yeah, we do. I don't know if it's changed recently, but in the past couple of months, I have heard that we're called like the bruh sorority.
The bruh sorority?
Yeah,
that's actually funny.
It's
I actually
like,
kind of agree though.
Yeah, and I do agree, and I don't know if it's like ourselves just calling us that, or like people have actually heard other people in Greek life call us that or whatever. And like I'm not hating on like any of the other organizations, but yeah, I think that at least in my eyes, like I think that DZ is very real and like genuine and like maybe a little bruh, but
y'all are just super laid back too.
Yeah,
like, y'all are just like because like I don't know about. Because I was part of like Airband, and I don't know how hardcore you guys went, but like the sororities that I was with, they were like hardcore, like covering their costumes and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, no, we definitely were doing had like a lot of late night practices and stuff. But I can't compare. I wasn't at the other practices for other organizations.
That's fair. But like mine was like hardcore. Like they said I couldn't tell a single soul about it.
The themes are very secretive and stuff. So.
Okay. So that's just a sorority thing then, not just a...
Yeah, I think it might just be a sorority thing.
Okay.
Yeah, because you guys have a password or whatever, right? That I begged you to tell me, but
you're
like, no, I can't.
I mean, I'm pretty sure every organization does, but we before going in a chapter to like deem that you're an actual member of the organization, you have to do a little password and handshake action.
See, like, because even talking about that more, I think that is pretty cool that I'm going to say this in this way, but I don't mean it, if that makes like sense to you guys. Hopefully you know where I'm coming from. But you didn't like sell out to join a sorority, because sometimes these girls, because like there's some girls that I know that have joined a sorority and I'm like, what? Like they didn't seem like that type either, and then they just like completely changed who they were as a person just about.
Yeah,
I don't know if you know some people like that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Or I mean, yeah, Thomas shaking his head, he knows people like that. But like I'm not saying it's a bad thing, because maybe like when you join that and you find your people, you just kind of, that shapes you a little bit more. But I mean, like in a good way, at least in my opinion, you've pretty much stayed true to yourself, so I think that was pretty cool.
Thanks.
Yeah. And you, like you said, you found something that you were interested in that before joining it you didn't even think possible. So
yeah, no, I kind of just fell into like the roles that I got on exec and stuff, and then kind of the same as like I fell into other stuff in high school, and then it just worked out and I kept doing it. But yeah, I like it. I'm happy. It's weird though, because like my sorority is kind of like most of like my life, like takes up most of my time, but it's nice for you to say like I haven't been changed by the Greek ways.
that's what we're here for. We're truth tellers in this apartment.
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of answered that throughout the whole thing of talking about it, but I guess I should say financials aside, because we've talked about just how much of like a loan sororities are, but worth it in the end, you can say it.
Yeah, it's worth it. I mean, there are like scholarships and stuff with like every organization, I'm sure does that. And like it's not like they just want your money. Like it's for a good reason for the most part. It can be expensive, but yeah, I say it's worth it, and I don't mind paying it for what I've gotten out of it, I guess.
Because you guys both know this, the people watching don't. I'm curious about yours, because we've like talked about this a little bit, but I rushed like my freshman year of college.
Oh yeah.
But I'm for those that know me, but also for those that don't, I'm not like a frat guy.
Not at all.
I know that like their whole thing is like, we're not frat boys, we're fraternity men, which is kind of some BS, at least from what I've experienced. You can speak to that if you want to at all, but just like what I was subjected to, I wasn't like a huge fan of. And for me too, I feel like it was because my senior year of high school, part of the reason that I loved it was because I was being more social and like getting out there more, and it ties into our theme of growing up a little bit. That's why I appreciated senior year so much, was I just noticed that change in myself of kind of talking to people more, like my teachers, making new friends and stuff like that. But I feel like a frat, especially going to college and moving to like a new city, was just a huge leap for me that I wasn't super ready for. And I rushed and I was just not vibing with it. And I remember you and I were talking about it. You're like, oh my God, you're going to rush. Like, this is going to be so cool.
I was so excited. I was like so adamant about it. But like, I kind of knew that it wasn't going to work out.
Yeah.
Just because of your...
Because my sister was president of Kappa Delta at our school. And
KD.
I would like, that was my... Huh?
At Charlotte?
Yeah. I told you that.
I forgot that.
Yeah.
Cool.
That was a big like conversation starter. Like,
oh, yeah.
When I was rushing, I was like, oh, my sister's actually... And they're like, what? Who? And I would like talk to them about it. I'm like, oh, I know her. She's really cool. For me, that didn't really work out. I'm curious because you, I think, very briefly thought about it, but it was, you just had like cheer and other stuff going on.
Well, so like I briefly thought about it just because like, unlike you, where you kind of went in like blinded and kind of just like, I guess you didn't know like what you were getting yourself into. I knew what I was getting myself into, and along with that, I knew a lot of people in frats. So like, I had invitations from like other frats and stuff like that. I was like, I'm just not a frat guy. I really don't want to. I know the people in frats, and I generally do like them, but I just didn't like the, I guess not the stigma, but just like the society of like frats and stuff like that. Because I went to a frat house for the first time last Saturday. I'm not going to say which one it is because I generally love that frat and it's like one of the best frats I know, but I just don't like the houses, like frat houses in general, just because like they always throw parties and stuff like that. Like this house in specific, I have nothing to compare it to, but it was just really dirty. And I'm just like, I can't imagine living here. And I can't imagine just like, because like I know the sorority houses are completely different because they're actually on campus versus like the frat houses, they're off campus and not like allowed to be on campus. So they can just do whatever they want technically, and they're just like really dirty. So I like frats. I just don't personally like being in one. Yeah, that's pretty much it. There's not much to it.
I mean, because you have and don't take this the wrong way, because like it's not an insult, but you have the perfect like frat personality. I feel like because you're just very social.
Oh, yeah.
And like a lot of the guys that I would talk to, like at some of these events and stuff like that, were just some of them were maybe like a little bit more reserved, but because it was recruitment, everyone was talking to each other. So I feel like you would be a very good like, oh man, like it's a cool time, like you should join us or whatever. Like obviously I said don't take that the wrong way because it's a compliment really if you think about it.
Well, do you not remember? So like when you rushed a frat, we went to like Topgolf. I went with you too.
Yeah.
So like when I went with you, they all was like under the impression that I was at the school. So I kind of just did whatever I want. I like played golf, talked to some brothers. But like when I was talking to some brothers, I felt like, and nothing against any like the frat brothers, because I actually do know a lot like frat brothers. But it seemed like copy and paste with all of them, with like at least personality wise. They don't all look the same obviously, but like personality wise, they just like copy paste. I'm just like, I don't want to be one of these people. And like also they're like you said, the funds is expensive, like the finance and stuff like that. I'm just like, ugh, too much money for me. So like they tried to recruit me, and like they was like, can I have your phone number and your name? I'm like, sure. And they're like, they followed up with me too. They were like, hey, like what are you thinking about
funny.
It was like, I don't know, I don't remember what frat it was, but what do you think about joining this frat? I'm like, oh, I'm not at the school actually, like I don't go to the school. And they're like, oh, okay, just let us know when you're at the school so you can rush. And I'm like, okay. Never got back to them. But like even then when I was there, like hanging out with like the brothers and talking to them, I just really just wasn't really like vibing with them as much, because as much as you say I'm a social butterfly, like I am, but like when it comes to like certain people, like certain types of people, I'm just like, yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not all horrible people. Like
I know, that's what I'm saying. That's why
Yeah.
I wasn't talking about like.
No. I'm not saying that you were, but like it is definitely a different culture. I feel like regardless of who you are.
Because because we have a friend, Alyssa, who she joined a sorority too, and that one was pretty specific, and she also like stayed true to who she was too. Like she didn't really change at all or anything. Because hers was like
it's
predominantly like Asian sorority, I think. So that was pretty cool to see like kind of the cultural side of it too. And I actually haven't talked to any of her sisters, but like just the way that seeing like the planning it, like how it was a little bit different from like the because what's the
Panhellenic?
No. Yes, but it's like don't the cultural ones have like different names or something?
Yeah.
Oh, NPHC?
Yeah. And then DGC.
Okay, I don't know what those be, but I'll take
NPHC is non-Panhellenic
Council.
DGC
is Diversified Greek Association.
Yeah.
No, Council. I don't know what. Never mind.
But it was cool to kind of see like the disparity between like yours, for instance, and then like for hers, the way that they treat stuff. But because I have to go to the bathroom real quick, but also the lead in for the next topic of conversation, because you guys can talk about this, just kind of in an appropriate way, watch yourself, Schelfe.
Okay.
Like going to parties and stuff like that, because I didn't go to a whole lot of those freshman year, and I know that you went to some too. So take it away if you guys want to, talking about just kind of also being social at those events and stuff like that.
All right. Have fun in the bathroom.
Thanks.
Well, I'm gonna say this: you went to like all sorts of parties. Like not saying that you went to a lot, but you went to like very different kinds of parties. Because you're in a sorority, so you have like, not homecoming. What is it called? What's the other dance that you guys attend?
Like semi? What do you mean?
Oh yeah, like semi. So
those are like sorority events.
Yeah, so like you have sorority event parties, and then you just have like random parties with frats that they throw, and then you have like house parties, and then you have kickbacks and all that.
Well, yeah. I mean, sororities don't really like have necessarily like parties like with frats.
I guess
like,
that's true. Yeah.
But like I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
So like, let me ask you this, because I've never experienced one, because I'm never going to, and I'm not allowed to. But
yeah, I was wondering if Cole was mentioning like you've been to a frat party.
No,
or something.
I haven't. So what was your experience of like going to frat parties? Like, do you like them? Like,
I mean, I've definitely grown out of that now, being a senior, like freshman year, and then sophomore year was when COVID hit. So
oh yeah,
I'd probably say like freshman year was like the only year I really went to any frat parties, because like I was a freshman, like of course, like, and in a sorority, like knew new to everything, so
Mhm.
of course you're gonna like go do that or whatever. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of what you can probably guess it is.
Yeah.
Like, they have drinks out for you. Like, you obviously can like bring your own stuff, but they provide that, and there's music, and it's like, I don't know.
Have you ever been like afraid of like going to frat parties? Like, did you ever have any fear of being there sometimes or anything?
I would say no, just because like I always went with at least like 2 other people, maybe
That's
like
fair.
more, and it was like all like my girlfriends or whatever.
Mhm.
So I knew that like they were watching out for me. Like, we would always make sure like we always got back home together.
Mhm.
I wouldn't say like I felt unsafe. Like, granted, I would only go to like certain fraternities parties.
That's
like,
fair. Yeah.
Like, there's one frat that I would go to normally, and that's because like I had friends from high school that were in that frat now.
that
So it
makes
was
sense.
like, oh, like I'll go because I can go talk to them.
Mhm.
Like, but there are some other frats on campus that, at least to me, in like my understanding, they have like a bad rep, and like their letters stand for not best things and
Oh
stuff
yeah,
like that.
I've learned a lot recently because I have like
Yeah.
a lot of cheer friends. They've gone to just like any frat parties, and they like call me, text me at like 1 a.m., 2 a.m. like, "Hey Thomas, can you pick me up? Like, I don't feel safe here," and stuff like that.
Yeah, so like I've literally never even given them the chance. Like, I've never been to any of
Pretty good
those
idea.
frats, just because I'm like, well, I don't want to waste my time and energy if like I'm gonna be scared to like drink the punch that they have there or whatever. But I mean, for the most part, like, people are either like keeping to themselves or like socializing. Like, it's not like people will like be up in your face. Like, but I don't know. I mean, I never felt like super uncomfortable.
I'm glad you had that like a
I
good
think-
experience for the most part.
Yeah, that I can remember. Again, like, it's been like
4
two
years,
like 2.5
3,
years
yeah,
since like
yeah.
I've really been to a frat party. So
That's a good idea, honestly. I mean, so like, what was your favorite type of parties then?
I mean, you say I've been to like a bunch of different ones, but it really was just like frat parties.
Oh, really?
And then, well, there was like, I guess like house parties or whatever that
Mhm.
like my friends would throw, and like I would have like get-togethers or like little parties like my apartment now or whatever. But other than that, like I didn't really like do any other sort of thing. And then of course like sororities, like we have our own events, but
Mhm.
they're not necessarily like parties. Like, we can't like throw a party like at our house.
Yeah.
But like just recently we had our semi-formal, and that's like we rent out a venue, either like a bar or like club or whatever in Uptown.
Dang, that's nice.
Yeah, it is cool. And then like we all get dressed up and go there, and there's like normally like food and music and superlatives and stuff like that. So those are nice because like it's you and then whoever you want to bring as a date.
Did you bring Cole?
No, so sorry. I did bring my boyfriend.
Nick. He reserves the rights to those events. Yeah.
So those are fun because it's like all of your friends, and then just like only a couple random people, like if you don't know everybody's dates. I don't know. A frat party's a frat party. Like, I'm so over them now. It was really definitely just like a
Phase.
freshman thing. But I mean, everyone's gonna do that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Everyone's gonna do that.
Yeah. Can you relate, Cole?
Oh man, I remember some Saturday nights I would come back so wasted. No, I'm just kidding. I was trying my best just to kind of like listen to you guys' conversation, but
While you're in the bathroom.
yeah. No, like when I've just been sitting here listening, but there was one thing I thought of while you guys were talking.
In the
But
bathroom?
I can't. No, not in the bathroom. But I can't remember what it was now.
I love your insight.
Well, I can say
Appreciate
this.
that.
I'm so sorry.
So, like, I've never been to any frat parties, and thankfully I haven't. The only times I quote-unquote have been is to pick up friends from there. And I can tell you that the experiences my friends had from frat parties are both good and bad. Like,
Yeah.
and they're opposite ends of the spectrum, good and bad. Like, they have, like, amazingly good times or amazingly bad times. Like, right now, one of my friends, I'm not going to say who, but they are going through, like, some Title IX stuff right now with, like, a frat. So it's, like, very bad there. So, but I've only gone to like kickbacks or like
Also, hold the thing in front of your face because I think it's gonna be echoed.
I've only really gone to like kickbacks, house parties, like you said, throwing parties myself. Yeah, and I usually don't really go to parties unless I know like a lot of people there or like know a few people there. Also, I just granted don't get invited to parties that often. So,
Well, I mean, you know the whole rule of frats. Only brothers are allowed. No other dudes.
either that or you bring 9 girls to one ratio.
Well, that's the thing about Charlotte that like really bugs me is like, you know, Michael, like I would always love to like bring him to a frat party or whatever, and we always joked about like literally dressing him up as a woman because that's the only way he would get in here.
Yeah.
But like ECU, you can either like bring a girl with you or like pay a cover, and then they don't care. And it's like, I know that the guys want all the girls to themselves or whatever, which is like disgusting in itself, but wouldn't you rather like have a better party and like have more people
that's what
there?
I'm saying, yeah.
Like that's one thing I've never understood about Charlotte.
I think the only reason I can see why they do that is for a reason that we were talking about for Halloween, like certain parties. I feel like it would get to a point where they'd be like, okay, we can't let but like so many more people in here.
Yeah.
But so like because if they have that freedom, people are probably gonna abuse that. I also remembered what I was gonna say, so you can say great insight after I say this. But I think because Thomas and I were talking about this the other day, my scene is more like, because I'm trying to think, other than like stuff that you've thrown, there aren't really parties that like have been thrown that I would just go to for like strangers or something, because I mean I don't do that anyway. But my scene more that I enjoy is like the kickbacks or just like our New Year's thing,
Yeah.
like Super Bowl party or something like that. Because I don't know, I'm not a fan of the whole like there's 80 people on like a really tight space and like 70 of them I don't know. And it's not just the kind of like introvert in me to be like, oh, I'm gonna be like forced to talk to these people, but it's also like I mean, like, I'm the legal drinking age now, but like whenever there's alcohol there's gonna be a bunch of stupid people making stupid decisions, and like it's just always a headache to be around that stuff. So
Yeah.
that was another reason why I didn't join fraternity. And I didn't want this discussion to turn into, and I hopefully people aren't taking this way, just like fraternities are like terrible places, because like if that's what you want to do, we're not trying to dispel you from it or anything.
Yeah.
But just what my opinion of them was and what I'd heard about them, that's not my scene. I don't want to be around a bunch of like dude kind of just getting like super wasted, and you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So.
No, I agree now. Like, I mean, again, freshman year, like you're gonna do freshman things or whatever, but
Yeah.
like I would rather be around people that I know. I would also like to state for the record, I was never a frat rat or anything like that.
Did he
'cause-
You never
say
get the
that?
frat flu?
No, no one said that. But Thomas was acting like I've been to all these parties.
I don't know. I was just saying. I was just.
No, I know. I just would like to say. I would like to say for the record, I was never a crazy partier. But
Is that what it's called? Frat rat? If you just go to a
That's
bunch
what
of
people say now. Yeah, I guess.
Oh, I didn't know that. I just know people get the frat flu a lot.
Oh yeah.
The frat flu. Interesting.
But yeah. Anyways. So.
No, I mean, because like you did go to your fair share of parties, but I feel like it was like a healthy amount. It wasn't like
Yeah, like it's college.
yeah, and you were also safe about it too.
Yeah.
because like we would talk about
I
it.
just didn't know. I was in Raleigh at the time, so I was just like.
Yeah.
okay.
No, I understand why you asked. I was just
Thomas speaking
you
out
were
his
just-
booty right now.
Nah, you're just like, well, you've been to house parties and frat parties and kickbacks.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm not
because of what
crazy.
you thought the theme should be for this episode.
We just
No.
we
No,
just,
yeah, we're not
we just
gonna-
took the theme out the window right now, bro.
Anyways,
what?
back to
We
growing
took
up.
the theme. Yeah, we took the theme.
We're
out the
we're
window.
still talking about it because, I mean, even though this episode kind of shifted more towards just like being social, but like for me, so like I guess that was kind of a lead into my next question because I've run out of ideas. But you inspire me, so we'll see what happens.
Oh.
Because the reason that growing up has a hand in this is just kind of me and you guys in your own light being more social was my way of growing up. So like, because one of my questions was going to be, was there something about, and you can answer this too, Thomas, obviously, because I have to think about it. So maybe while you guys are talking about it, I can think about mine and articulate it a little bit better. But is there like an aspect about like, because I talked about this in my solo episode like 2 weeks ago or whatever, about just kind of like, there's things about being a kid that I just really miss, and just kind of like having more free time and not having to like schedule to hang out with people now and stuff. But is there something that like from when you were a kid to like where you are now, you've noticed has kind of like changed about you, or like you're a lot more appreciative that you're an adult, that you can have this part of yourself that you didn't have like when you were younger?
I don't know if this answers your question, but like family, I'm definitely like more appreciative now. Literally like last week I had like a breakdown about this kind of topic, because it's always like a tradition for my family to go pick our Christmas tree like on Black Friday or whatever, and it was always a thing where like me and my brother would like play tag like around the trees or whatever. And this year is like the first year we're not doing that, because like he's engaged now, and like, you know,
Steven's engaged?
you didn't know that?
No,
That's
I didn't know
insane.
that.
Are you
What?
serious?
You didn't tell us.
I just thought you guys knew, or some, I don't know.
How?
Oh,
Okay,
wait, hold
yeah.
on. Before you say, how old is he again?
I think
Well, no,
his-
that's not like a bad thing, but
I think he's like 24, 23.
oh, okay.
His birthday is like a couple of days, so I should figure out what number that is.
That's,
Um,
that's crazy. I didn't know that.
yeah, no,
Congratulations.
he got engaged like last December.
Oh,
something.
this has been like a year.
Yeah, and then they're getting married like December of 2023 or something.
Oh, it's like another year. Okay.
Yeah, I'm sad. I want it to be like tomorrow, just because I'm excited. But
Yeah.
but yeah, so like he's like starting his own like family and like all that stuff. So my mom texted me and she was like, do you want to come home? Because like they live like an hour away. She was like, do you want to come home and like help us like pick a tree or whatever? And I was like, well, I don't really know if like I can do that because of finals. Like I just might come home when I'm there for Christmas. And then she just had the audacity to say something. I wish I like knew the exact words, but she was like, well, it's a bummer that like you and Steven won't get to like race around the Christmas trees or whatever, but we'll always cherish old memories and make new ones. And I literally started crying because I was like, thank you for the reminder.
Yeah, that is like a low
what?
blow.
That
What the
was
heck?
like, yeah.
So it was
You
just
under the bus.
growing, I guess this like relates to growing up. Like growing up, especially through college, it's been a big shift for me to realize like I don't live in the same house as my family. And like we don't have that like tight knit group of like four of us and stuff. So I think like to answer your question, if this is a good answer, like being more appreciative of like family and like when I get to see them and stuff, because like we all live in 3 different places now. So it's definitely a change.
You gonna make me cry, Thomas?
So like, oddly enough, this is like kind of a weird answer, but like I kind of miss the strictness when I was younger.
That's a good point.
And I only say that because like now that we live on our own and we have like so much freedom, I kind of just liaison and do whatever I want, kind of, to the point where like I don't even go to classes sometimes anymore. I just kind of wake up on my own schedule. I kind of just I do go to class, just not as often as I should, but like I wake up on my own schedule. I eat whatever I want. I feel like my eating habits have been better, but still, like I like having a schedule like when I lived at home and like having that strictness of like my mom. As much as I say I hate it, like I did miss of like my mom, like, did you do your homework? I'm like, no. She was like, you should go do it. And I'm like, I don't want to. Like I miss having like because it gave me a structure.
Like
it gave me something to
discipline.
do, and it was nice because like I would always finish everything I needed to do. I always had that sense of control, I guess. So now I feel like I'm kind of spastic and everywhere right now. So
Is that that's a word?
spastic?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a
I
word.
think it's weird.
We're gonna go with it.
So,
But also like COVID
That
has
too.
terribly messed that up as well.
Yeah,
Not
that's
to make
true.
this into a whole COVID conversation.
Yeah.
But that's definitely got to be part of it.
I mean, yeah. I moved out around COVID time, so like that didn't help either. So when I moved out, COVID still gave me like a sense of strictness though, because I couldn't do certain things as I wanted to before. Like I couldn't just go to a party and just have fun, or go to, I don't know, like Frankie's and just enjoy. Like I have to wear a mask, and there would be like, your temperature is 103. You can't go inside. Like I didn't have that freedom still either, even when I moved out. So I miss that strictness just a bit, because I felt like if I was out at 3 a.m. at home versus out at 3 a.m. here, it's completely different, because I would feel bad because I know my mom would be awake. My mom stays up until I get home, and she did that like every time when I lived at home. So I just feel bad. Versus here, she doesn't know what time I go to bed. My mom would call me, what time did you go to bed? I'll be like 12 o'clock. And really, it's like 4 a.m. So.
Well, I'm glad then I had you guys both go first, because I mean, we know I love to talk, but so it was nice to kind of hear you guys give your answer and explain a little bit, because I pull from both of what you guys were talking about. You, Maria, it's
Copy
yeah.
Sorry,
I'm not
I just
original.
had to say that.
Yeah.
Original.
But like I said, I've talked about it on a previous episode, but like, because I have a sister that lives 2 hours away from here. I have one that lives all the way up in Alaska, and then I have family back home. So we're pulled in every which way, and it's kind of sad because we have to plan like, oh, this person's not going to be here for Christmas, this person won't be here for Thanksgiving, and it's just, we're like, my sisters, we do like a sib sesh, we call it. So like we've been trying. It's, again, with like scheduling everything, we try like every month to have one day where we all just like call each other, like FaceTime, just kind of talk and like catch up with each other. But it's just hard because we're all what? Oh, we're all adults now, but it's just because we're all adults, it's just so hard because of, what time are we at?
Oh, I was just looking at the thing.
45, not bad. It's hard now because like my little sister's in college, my two oldest sisters, one has 2 kids, and then the other one has a husband all the way up in Alaska that they're doing stuff with each other. So like they're living their lives and everything. So that I do miss, and I've come to appreciate family a lot more. And I do miss kind of just the fun childhood memories of decorating the house and everything like that for Christmas, going to pick out a tree. And then to Thomas's point, I do too. I've thought about this, but I've never vocalized it kind of the way that he did. But I do too, in a certain way, miss that discipline and just having that sense of somebody there is going to keep you accountable. And I know that that's part of growing up, is just kind of being able to do that by yourself, setting your own schedule and knowing when you have to go do certain work, you have to wake up at a certain time, you have to eat 3 meals a day, or try to eat 3 meals a day. Part of my new my diet plan, my
Yes,
2,400
sir.
calories or whatever.
Have you eaten it, by the way?
Huh?
Have you eaten it, by the way?
Yeah, I just need to eat as soon as we're done recording this episode.
Okay.
Yeah, I miss that too. Like, part of me misses just kind of waking up at a reasonable hour, staying awake, and just being more productive. Not to say that I'm not productive now, but it's just, I
Like, you
definitely
don't feel
was a
as
lot
productive.
more.
Yeah.
Growing up, and just kind of having my parents to be like, hey, have you done this? Or like, you need to get this done. Or like having my mom there to remind me of this, that, and the other.
Mm-hmm.
Which, like, I mean, now that I say it out loud, it makes me sound like I haven't grown up that much. But like, I think it's just kind of a cool thing, just experiencing that. Because, like, okay, for instance, I went to the DMV by myself for the first time, like the other day, to get my official 21-year-old license.
The other day, it was like a month and a half ago.
Yeah, and like the Cole of old would look at that and just be like nervous as heck, and just be like, bro, I don't want to go here, I don't want to do this. I was there, well, I mean, it's the DMV, so you're there for a while, but like, for what I was there for, it took like 10 minutes, and then I was out. Because all they did, he just like verified some information, and then you picked the long way to walk. He's verified information, took my picture again, and then that was it. But like you can pick it back up. But yeah, just kind of like doing that by myself was just kind of like an eye-opener, because I've had to do other stuff like that too, like going to the doctors and stuff like that. I went to get dinner with Tyler, Zuri, and Kayla the other night, and I don't know why, but I was like ordering my food, and I like messed up what I was trying to say, and the waitress just kind of like looked at me funny. I was like, I'm sorry, my mom normally does this for me.
No, you
just like
said
as
that?
like as a joke.
Oh, God.
And then like throughout the night, she would just like she came back, and I ordered a drink, and she was like, oh, you did a lot better that time, or like that was pretty good for like your mom not doing it. I was like, appreciate it. And she came back some other times when I was slightly intoxicated. But I just thought it was funny, like making that joke about it. But it was just kind of like a subtle reminder of like, there was a point in time where I'd be like, yeah, I want the chicken nuggets. And my
Yeah.
mom would be like, all right, he's going to have the chicken nuggets. But yeah, nowadays, I'd be ordering the big double burgers by myself.
Oh my God.
Like, okay, I don't know how you guys, this doesn't tie in with growing up at all. It just popped in my head randomly. I'm still not a fan of going through like drive-throughs. Those are just so like awkward to me.
Why?
I don't know. Like there's just something about just like, because I like it's my whole thing about like ordering food or like something over the phone. I like to talk to the person like face to face about that stuff. That's why I hate calling into places. But it's just like going up to like the microphone or whatever, and like I'm just always scared to like mess something up.
I mess up all the time, but I don't care. The only time that I hate ordering through drive-thrus is that when I know I articulated like my order correctly and they give me the wrong order.
Oh yeah, and then you leave, and then you can't really do anything about it.
That literally happened to us like 2 nights ago. He ordered like he gets really upset about this stuff. I just eat it anyway because I don't really care. But he ordered his cookout orders like the quesadilla, and he said chicken quesadilla, and we got back, it was tenders.
Oh.
And he opened the box and he just like stared at me. I was like, what? And I looked at the box because he had 2 cups of quesadilla sauce just sitting in front
That was
of
a problem because I ordered 2 cups of quesadilla sauce for my quesadillas I ordered.
Yummy quesadilla tenders.
No,
I feel like they kind of slapped though. Did you dip it wasn't good. Really?
it wasn't that good.
You're also very picky.
I think
though.
you're just
I'm
mad
not
at the
picky.
moment.
I'm
Yeah.
just upset because
Your
I spent.
anger changed your taste.
No, okay. This is how I knew something was wrong. When she said when she said the total, it was like 11 something. I'm sitting here like that's not what it's normally at. It's like 12 something normally. So I was just like, well, maybe they made it cheaper or something. So then I just didn't check. I saw the 2 sauces in there, so I'm like, but wouldn't you think that they would connect the dots if I said I want quesadilla sauce, but there's chicken tender?
You'd hope, yeah.
Some people are weird, man. You never know.
What we really got to talk about is these prices at Cookout and how atrocious they
know.
are recently.
Well, they did
It
go
makes me
up,
so
right?
sad. I mean,
Mm.
everything's going up right now, but like
True.
Cookout, come on.
My go-to.
I
Come
trusted
on.
you. Yeah.
I mean, what? It was always like you
Seven-
would go to Cookout and know you're paying like $5 for a tray or something.
It was
right?
$7.25, but yeah, $7.24 actually.
What's it now?
$5.
It's like 9 something. 8
Holy
something
Wait,
now.
crap.
what's your order? $5?
No, I don't know. I just thought it was like some sort of cheap thing, and that's why everyone went to Cookout.
Yeah, a tray would be like $7, and you can get like 4 quesadillas for a tray if you want.
I swear it had to be like $5 or something. That's so.
At one point, it was like $6.30.
Okay, that's probably what I'm thinking. Of.
We can't go down this cookout rabbit hole because
Okay.
you're talking to the connoisseur
What's
right now.
everybody's
I've-
tray order?
I've been.
Chicken quesadilla tray, double up Cajun fries with extra side of Cajun fries and sweet tea.
Okay, I said that like joking, but thanks, Thomas.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I had it last night to meet my calorie count, but I've been doing so good of not going to it, and then
Yeah.
now tonight I'm just gonna be like, damn it, and Maria's gonna be like, all right.
Yeah, I remember one last thing about Cookout. I remember last year, you guys were notorious for going to Cookout and then watching Lord of the Rings like every
Good
Game
try.
night.
of, Game of Thrones.
Game of
Oh,
Thrones, but
okay,
good try.
okay. I'm so sorry. But am I
That's
wrong?
close.
You guys did that like every night.
Yeah,
I
it was-
swear.
it was really bad.
It was bad. That was like 2 years ago. That was like sophomore year.
Not like crapping on you. Like,
Yeah.
No,
We
you
love
should
some
crap on
cookout,
us
but-
because it was an obscene amount of cookout.
It was like we made it a tradition. Like every time we watch Game of Thrones, like we gotta go get Cookout now. Because if we watched Game of Thrones without Cookout, it just felt sad. So we were just like, yeah, we gotta go.
But
get
it was funny because like we would, not now obviously, but when other times when we would watch stuff, we would eat it and then like watch stuff, like watch shows or movies or whatever. But sometimes I would eat it before we started watching because we got it to eat while watching. But because the Game of Thrones episodes like an hour apiece, so we would eat it for like the first episode, the half of the first episode, and then watch like 4 more episodes.
Yep.
And it was just like we didn't even need to get the food in the first place.
Yep.
But yeah, we just kind of made a tradition. So I appreciate you for bringing that back.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, I do recall.
I completely forgot about that. When do you want to start that up again?
No, because I've turned over a new leaf. I'm trying to see past 30 years old. I need to not be eating cookout as much anymore. Yeah, I think cookout was a great way to end this episode and just this season as a whole. So thank you, Maria, for lighting that fire again.
Thank you for having me. I feel so honored.
Of course, yeah. Because when I we could finish up with this too. Because when I called Maria, I was like, "Oh, we want you to be on this last episode." You were like, "Really?" I was like, "Yeah, why not?" Like, you just
I don't
sounded so
know.
surprised. But
I'd be surprised too, honestly.
I felt like such a special person for that call.
you are a special
Aw,
person,
thanks.
and we
Don't gaslight
don't
her
shake
like
your
that.
head.
Don't gaslight me.
And we want to show the world just how special you are.
Yeah.
Also, if you don't watch any of our other episodes, but I can trust and confidence
I
that
promise
you will.
I will.
Obviously watch this one, but there's also going to be a surprise at the end of this episode.
It's really good.
I've compiled. Should I say it or should I just
What is
leave
that
it?
supposed to
just
mean?
wait. Just let her watch it. She gotta listen to it.
Some like gross audio clip of me or
No.
something? Well, what
Maria sucks.
Okay, no. I'll
what kind
say.
of surprise can't you tell me?
I'll say it and then we'll lead into it.
No,
So
you can't tell her. Everyone, she gotta wait for it, and everyone has to wait for it.
Well,
Is it like your new jingle?
Did you hear the jingle?
I did.
You heard that was a good jingle.
That's a good jingle.
That was a good
You should hear his other track.
Yeah, we don't know about it. No, I gotta say it anyway because I'm telling the other people listening
but they
to it
can
what it's
hear
going
at
to
the
be.
end. They can
Fine.
wait till the
I'll be
end.
secret, but there's a surprise. It's nothing gross or weird.
Okay.
At the end of this episode.
Fine.
But yeah, without further ado, I want to say thank you guys for sticking through this. Those of you that have, and those of you that have joined along the journey, it's been a lot of fun. I started this. I know the exact date. Actually, I created the account for the channel on September 26th, and then we released our first episode the 27th.
Wow.
So it's been.
Almost 2 months, 3 months.
It'll be 3 months at the end of this month that
Dang.
we started it. So, don't have a complete timetable yet for when season 2 will come out. Thomas said he wanted to do a Christmas episode. That's still kind of up in the air. We'll see
I
about
do,
that.
but I think that will be like Christmas episode, like season 2, because I have a lot of stuff going on, like finals, comp season is coming up. Like we end comp season in January, so these next 5 weeks are going to be the most brutal and hardest weeks of my life. So
Yeah, so maybe season 2's opener will just kind of be talking about how Christmas went and everything,
Mhm.
and just how much fun we all had on our break from
how many
this,
gifts we didn't get?
Yeah. Coal in the stocking.
That's what I want.
Me, yeah. I see what you did there. But yeah, thank you guys all for listening, not just to this episode, but the season as a whole. I have some big things planned we have some big things planned, I should say, for season 2. You don't know them yet because I haven't told you.
So him, not me.
The first one is BAM, because we're going to take this picture, hopefully, after this episode. The thumbnail for season 2's I give up. I was trying to okay, let's try it again. BAM. That's the picture for the thumbnail of the episodes for season 2. So hopefully you guys watch this on YouTube, because anybody listening on Spotify isn't going to know what I just did. But I just flashed a picture on the screen of what next season's thing is going to be. So why are you looking so confused?
I'm trying to think of what the picture would be.
Oh, I have an idea.
Oh,
You're left
okay.
in the dark yet again. But thanks again, everybody, for listening. And here is a little bit of a surprise. Peace. In this little story I'm about to begin, hopefully you guys will laugh at some points, but more importantly, I hope that it makes you think.
We live. We live. We live. We did. We live. We live.
This is Zuri. Feel free to say hi.
Hello.
This is Brandon. Brandon, say hello.
Hey, what's up, y'all?
Like, what do you have to lose? Because talking about it's only going to help.
Because feeling your emotions is important in any process of grieving, any process of accepting reality.
If someone around me is sad, I was just going to feel sad. Like, I just kind of feed off of people's energy sometimes.
That's so sweet, it's disgusting. I wish I had a teacher like that.
Sometimes saying too much is more detrimental than, just saying a few things and being done with it.
I felt like I had to present myself a type of way sometimes.
Might be hurting myself doing it, but I can't help who I am, so.
I know we're both busy, but I'm always here and always in your corner if you need me.
This month, I've taken every weekend off, so I feel like I'm kind of getting a little better of being more available in a way to my family.
You are so much stronger than you realize you are.
One of the things my parents would always say is learn from their mistakes.
So there's a girl that I liked in high school. Even though I was 16, she meant a lot to me. It didn't work out in the end.
You think about her because that's a comfort person.
All right, so we're officially recording. Why are you laughing already?
Because I'm nervous.
If you ever feel like you're alone, please do me a favor and take this into consideration. You're right. You might be. as much as you want to tell yourself that you're not enough, trust me, you are.
So I was taught a lot of my mannerisms from Taekwondo.
We weren't allowed to really be kids, if that makes sense.
And Thomas, I've never said this, but I'm very proud of you for doing cheer, actually.
Yeah, I mean, we grew up, she was a single mom, so I feel like she kind of like, in a way, was a little paranoid of anything happening to us.
I guess your interest shift.
If you took an x-ray of my body right now, my stomach, you would just see the Cookout logo with its lights and everything. Big double burger cheddar style.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
I don't-
check out.
Even though Cole hates math, he's in a major that requires a lot of math.
Correct. Weeks went on, and it came to a difficult conversation between the two of us. She wasn't ready to fall in love again, but unfortunately for me, I already did.
It was a matter of taking it step by step.
She trumped everybody because I got to know who she was. Maybe your students will recognize you on here because...
That makes me even more nervous if they were ever to find this video, because they would just never let me live it down.
I would smile talking to this person, and I would smile thinking about this person.
Smile talking to her. You smile thinking about her. My younger self would be proud of where I am now, you know?
In the Hispanic culture, there's this thing, machismo, which is pretty much just, you know, the man is the head of the household and he's allowed to do whatever he wants, and because you're a girl, you have to be submissive. And then there's me, where I like things my way, and I'm just like, no, I'm not gonna listen to that.
Yeah,
like,
I can
I'm
imagine.
sorry.
You have so much more to offer to the world than you realize.
I got that tailgate fever.
Perspective Podcast, Episode 6, Chris.
Recognizing that the path that you're on isn't anybody else's. Don't get too caught up in looking too far ahead.
A lot of it also is because when someone around me is in a bad mood, I'm just going to be in a bad mood.
There are just so many beautiful and amazing people out there.
Some of my best friends back in the day, I have dreams about.
One of the people that kind of helped pull me out of my funk a little bit was Zuri.
I'm signing up for the whole person. I don't care, the good and bad.
And the times, even when I wasn't thinking about her, I literally, I'm not making this up, I would have dreams about her. Cole, get it together. Special shout out to Thomas's teammate, Cam. Shout out Craig, if you're listening. If you're listening to this, Craig, just having somebody to talk to really helps sometimes.
It really does. I would say setback is a stepping stone for the future.
Please be there for somebody. Thank you, two ladies, for listening to this. And thank you for promoting it, Thomas. So that
Yeah, one of them's the curly hair one that you were talking about earlier.
You're dumb. Hello.
Love you, Meg.
Yeah, love you, Meg. I'm a realist when it comes to sports, and the
Mhm.
Panthers are just trash. It's this idea that failure is the greatest teacher. You have a problem that's going on, and you need to solve it. Can I say without a shadow of a doubt that I was myself when I have kids, whenever that is, that I can only dream of raising them the way that you guys raised us? I want somebody to love me for who I am. I don't want them to love me for what they want me to be.
Yeah.
I think about thinking a lot. You know what? I picked a damn good partner to go on this journey with and create this podcast with. Sometimes, whether you want it to or not, and take it from us and the stories that we tell, you just need to let something go. Mom, if you ever hear this, hopefully you see that I'm trying. Even though this wasn't for a school assignment, hopefully it'll amount to something in the future. And hopefully I will too.